Well, thank you very much, Chair Tester, Vice Chairman Collins. I'm really glad that we are continuing to hold these really important hearings and move closer to finally getting the committee back to regular order, so I appreciate it. We've made good progress, but we have to stay the course if we're going to pass our nation's funding bills in a timely manner. We know that our competitors, like the Chinese government, are doing everything they can to gain ground, so we cannot afford to let our efforts get sidetracked and our investments fall behind. Our military needs the certainty of a regular and smooth appropriations process that they can depend on. So I'm really glad to have this opportunity to hear from Secretary Austin about the resources needed to support our service members and keep our nation safe, including support for our military families like good housing and schools, mental health care, child care, and a lot more, because as I have said, our most important military asset isn't our weapons or our equipment. It is the brave and talented women and men who are willing to put their lives on the line to keep our country safe. So we owe it to them to work together across the aisle, get our job done, get our government funded without drama, and get them the support they need. So, Mr. Secretary, thank you for being here today. Let me start with a really important topic. Our nation's suicide crisis is devastating, and we see serious risk among our service members. The latest report on suicide in the military shows a steady increase over the past decade, and we finally saw a small decrease in 21, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Secretary Austin, you have previously noted how the stress caused by the unpredictability of life in the military, the demand for troops to confront so many threats abroad, real challenges accessing counseling, all contribute to this problem. And I understand the department is facing challenges hiring enough specialists to provide service members with access to mental health care and counseling. Can you tell us what steps you are taking to increase hiring so service members have access to mental health care?
Thanks, Chair Murray. This is something that's very, very important to me. You've heard me talk about this a number of times. Yeah, sorry. This is something that remains very important to me. You've heard me talk about this a number of times. Mental health is health, period. And I think we have to continue to maintain that outlook towards taking care of our troops. I just had all our senior leaders, both uniformed and civilian, in for a senior leader session. And this was one topic that was prominent in that session. I'm asking you for $200 million in this budget, plus to devote to suicide prevention, which includes increasing access to mental health care. And I am really emphasizing to leadership that we need to do everything possible to make sure that we're working with, the civilian capabilities in our communities to make sure that we have access to those, to increase the capacity that's available to us. But we will remain sighted on this, and you're right. We did see an improvement in 21. We're going to work hard to see if we can continue to improve, but this remains a challenge. And access to mental health care is fundamental to this challenge.
Yeah, thank you, and we need to follow up on that. I appreciate it. Let me change the topic. As you know, the Navy is sending a nuclear-armed submarine to South Korea for the first time since the 1980s, and the USS George Washington will replace the USS Ronald Reagan in Japan, so it can head to Bremerton, Washington for maintenance. These naval assets will only become more important as the U.S. works to strengthen our partnerships and support allies throughout the Indo-Pacific. Maintaining this fleet is really paramount to our success, and the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard is really vital, as you know, to the maintenance work. PSNS is the only shipyard on the West Coast with a Nimitz and Ford-class capable dry dock, and it's responsible for the maintenance of the majority of the West Coast-based attack submarines. Those dry docks are currently vulnerable to seismic activity. Secretary Austin, I am disappointed that despite knowing about the need to address those seismic issues, it was left out of the budget request this year. How is the department ensuring this multi-year project is and will continue to be a top priority for the Navy?
Well, thanks, and thanks for your continued support on this issue. First of all, let me emphasize that the safety of our personnel and the protection of our assets it's very important to the department. When we experienced a challenge with because of the seismic activity recently, as you know, we rapidly deployed assessment teams to assess damage and also to outline steps that are necessary to get our capability back up and running. And we have a high standard for safety. And we have done that work, and we are bringing those assets back online. In this budget, Chair, I'm asking you for $2.7 billion to continue to invest in our infrastructure. That's in the SIOP program, and we will continue to invest in this in future budget requests as well.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator